Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. And again, I apologize for my voice. This thing is settled in my throat, and I'm not helping by talking. And we had meetings yesterday, and I talked, and I just need to shut up. So here's Cody Skinner. No.
Morning, Gene.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Let's see now if I get your title right. You're the Assistant Superintendent, Elementary Education, and Federal Programs.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So kind of tell us, kind of summarize what that all entails.
Well, in a nutshell, my job is to be there to support the elementary principals and the elementary schools and students and parents. And the federal programs part is our bilingual students,
Okay.
Very important part, and our Title I, II, III, and IV funding that we get from the federal government, and I try to oversee all of that and just make sure that our curriculum is good for the kids and that we're getting the most bang for our buck.
Okay. Is that a lot of money that represents for as far as what the school district operates on, the federal program?
Yes, it is. It is thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's very important that we keep good track of the money and do our best to use that money to benefit the students.
Mm-hmm. So who, at the federal level, is it the Department of Education then that you have to report to?
Yeah, and the New Mexico Department of Education, the New Mexico PED.
Uh-huh.
I've got to answer to them a lot of funding applications we've got to send in, and a lot of paperwork. And
yeah, okay.
But
well, somebody's got to do it, right?
That's right. And I volunteered. So
you did, yeah. Now you're from Artesia, right?
No, sir. Actually, I'm from Portales,
Okay.
but don't hold that against me because I got to Artesia as fast as I could.
Okay.
But yeah, I graduated from Portales High School in '91 and went to college a year in Arizona, and then transferred to Eastern New Mexico and finished up and got my teaching degree, and then spent a year in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching over there, and then 3 years in the Cobury Consolidated School District near Silver City, and then an opportunity came available here in Artesia, and so my wife and I both moved here and started our family, and this is definitely the place we wanted to be. You know, Artesia is it's a great community. Growing up in Portales, there are so many. You've got the college there,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got the high school, and there's so many little towns, Dora and Elida and Floyd, and so businesses in that town, they all get pulled different directions. And one thing about Artesia is everybody here is a bulldog.
Right.
Everybody supports the Artesia High School, and they go to the sporting events and the band concerts and the choir performances, and everybody in town, wears orange on Fridays, and
Yep.
It's just great to be a bulldog. And that's one thing that's really special about Artesia is everybody here, they just support Artesia and the kids and the programs we have, and so it's a wonderful place to be.
You mentioned your wife and you raised a family. How many kids do you have?
I've got 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter graduated last year. She's now attending New Mexico State, and she's she wants to be a civil engineer.
Okay.
And then my son is a junior, and he played football, and he's now doing wrestling, and he's a track athlete, and so looking forward to.
Let me ask you about the wrestling. That's a program that is getting started in Artesia, because there hadn't been a wrestling program before.
Right. No, there hasn't. We used to have a youth program here, and we are still considered an independent team.
Mm-hmm.
We wrestle in the high school circuit all over the state, but we're an independent team, which means we can't go to the state tournament.
Okay.
But our kids still wrestle, and this is the second year of our program, and we've had a lot of success with it. The kids are doing great, and we're getting more and more kids out all the time, and there's a lot of great kids that are great athletes, but they're not good basketball players.
Right.
And so this program is good for those kids, keeps them in good shape for track and baseball, softball, and it's boys and girls sports. We've got a few girls that wrestle also.
Oh, wow.
In fact, Destiny Smith, she's a senior. She won the Roswell tournament that we had a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So she did fantastic. But we've had a lot of success with the program so far, and we're hoping, in the years to come, that it'll be a viable program for the school and something else to give our kids something to do.
Maybe they may pick it up.
We do have a home meet. I want to talk about that, too,
Sure.
for just a second, if I might.
Please.
The Roswell High coach wanted to schedule a duel with us, and I said, hey, that's great. We'll come to your place. And And he said, no, we want to come to Artesia and wrestle you guys there. And I said, we don't have a facility, mats, anything yet. We're just practicing in a weight room.
Right.
And he said, hey, we'll bring our mats. We'll come down to you. And he said, you know what? Get on the radio, talk a bunch of smack about me. We'll get the community involved and get them to come down.
He's a great guy. We actually, during the COVID year last year, they had a duel with Goddard at the Wool Bowl.
Oh.
Outside in the Wool Bowl. And they had asked if we would stream it. And we said, well, sure, but we don't have anybody that can announce. And he says, well, I'll announce. And, well, aren't you supposed to be coaching? He said, they know what they're doing. So he's announcing the video broadcast while his team is out there wrestling. And they did another duel in the bowl here a few weeks ago. So he seems like a really great guy.
He is. Jesse Boggs, Roswell High, and Nick Archuleta, the Goddard coach, they have been so fantastic helping out and getting our program started. And the Hobbs coaches, the Carlsbad coaches, everybody would love to see wrestling get started here. Clovis has got their first wrestling team this year.
Okay.
And in fact, our wrestling team is traveling to Clovis this weekend, and we've got a duel with them. But the wrestling community is so neat because everybody in the state supports each other. The Aztec coach called and said, hey, what can I do to help you guys out? I want to see your program get started. And so it's been really great. It's been a lot of fun, and the kids have enjoyed it.
Well, that's interesting. I'm from Iowa, which back in the day was a big wrestling.
Oh, it still is. Iowa's huge for wrestling.
We had 3 state tournaments that got all the attention of all the media. There was the girls basketball tournament, the boys basketball tournament, and the wrestling tournament.
Yep.
And those were huge events. I don't know if they still are, but you probably being a little closer to wrestling.
Oh, it is. There's a lot of fun. It's a great sport. A lot of fans come and watch and support, and it's been good.
Yeah, well, that's good. So if folks are interested in their kids participating in that, do they just reach out to you, or who do they talk to?
Yeah, they sure do. We've got a few flyers out at at the high school and the junior high. We're just doing 8th grade up, and those kids are getting to participate. And all they've got to do is just give me a call. Our season's pretty much, we're right in the swing of things right now, so we're not taking on any new kids, but definitely want to see the program continue to grow next year and get more and more kids involved.
Yeah, well, that's pretty exciting. And that we have to take after the Roswell coach. If we do video stream it, you'll have to announce. So
okay, I don't know about that.
Well, that's great. Well, before we got started on the air, you were talking about some really exciting projects in the elementary schools that the kids are working on. So you want to kind of talk a little bit about?
Yeah,
you were talking about robots and
yes, we've got right now the kids have things. Every school has some bee-bots, is what they're called, and they're about the size of a grapefruit, and they look like a bumblebee. It's a little bumblebee robot, and the kids from kindergarten up through 5th grade get to program these robots, and they try to work it where the robot will go 8 inches to the left and then straight and right and work through a maze. And Mrs. McCaleb sent me a video yesterday of some kindergarten kids doing it, and they just had a great time.
Are they writing the code? Is that what they're doing?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
They're learning how to do that, and the kids are really enjoying that. And we've got Wayne Shockey with the Eddy County. He's our Eddy County 4-H agent. He met with our 4th grade teachers yesterday, or day before yesterday, excuse me. And he's going to bring in some eggs, and they're going to have a little hatching program. And and right before spring break, all the eggs will hatch.
Who's going to lay the egg? Who's going to keep sitting on the eggs? Are we going to bring in chickens?
He's got incubators. And so Wayne's going to come in and get everything set up. But the kids are going to get to candle these eggs and watch the chicks grow inside the egg and then hatch. And then from there, they'll get farmed out to the families. And we've done it in the past, and the kids have really liked it. It's a great project.
Yeah.
And then NDI has started. That's the National Dance Institute. And our 4th graders started practicing that yesterday. And right now they're doing it through Zoom meetings. And next week they'll be doing it with live in-person performance, and the performance will be next Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
It's not open to the public. It's due to COVID regulations. It's still going to be just a Zoom performance, but the parents will get to watch that at the end of next week, and the kids are excited about getting to do that. It's a lot of fun for the kids. Yeah.
It's kind of a shame that with the COVID regulations, I know that's been a real challenge for everybody within the schools to comply with all these regulations and try to do the best job possible in education.
And that's what it's been difficult. We've had a lot of support and also seen a lot of frustration. Bottom line, we're trying to do what's best for the kids, and kids are involved in activities again, which is fantastic. We've got our choir kids are able to sing, and the band kids can play and march, and the kids are doing athletics and FFA, and they're able to come to school in person, which is huge because the online schooling just wasn't the best. It wasn't what was best for kids, and so we're so glad to finally get the kids back. And really, school is back to normal, other than kids and teachers wear a mask. Other than that, we're back to business as usual, and so it's just good to be back.
Well, that's good. What for the rest of the school year, as far as the elementary kids, are there some other exciting projects or programs that are coming up? I mean, and how are we doing? Because I think there was a lot of concern during the year that the kids were all remote learning, that they'd be behind.
Right.
And so has there been a lot of catch-up that's been done this year to just make sure everybody's back on track?
Well, there is. The teachers are working really hard, just to, of course, focusing on, the 4 cores and reading and mathematics especially. But the kids are working hard. The parents have been very supportive and, are helping read with their kids at home, which really helps those younger kids. But overall, I mean, we're doing great. We're still in a good position, I think, with kids. And, of course, there's a little bit of lag time, I think, but nothing that we can't get the kids caught right back up with.
Sure.
So we're doing okay with that.
Has parent participation increased over this last year and a half or two? Are you seeing more parents getting involved with their kids?
The parents have been great. Because it's getting the kids, especially when they were at home, trying to log on with the computers and having technical difficulties and internet problems. And the parents have been great. I mean, the parents had to really step up and help their kid, and then communicate with the teachers on what was going on, and dropping off homework and picking up new homework packets. And the parents have been fantastic to work with. A lot of that's just the community, because that's just the community we have. It's a great place to live, and people want to see their kids be successful. And so it's been the parents have been great to work with throughout all this.
Well, because you hear that, you see that in the news around the rest of the country. You either don't have any parents participating, and so educators are like, what do we have to do to get the parents involved? Or people are complaining about parental involvement, which I think that's crazy. You want parents involved, right?
Right. Well, all our elementary schools have a strong PTO, and they have meetings, and they still are helping the kids do fundraising stuff, and to help those schools be successful and the kids be successful at school, and take field trips. And there's all kinds of great things going on, and the parent support at the schools is still just as good as it's ever been.
Are you getting to do field trips again?
Yes, we sure can.
Okay, so have there been some that they've taken, or you have some?
Not yet.
Up?
Usually they start in the spring. A lot of kids will visit Carlsbad Caverns for some kids, and some people go to White Sands. Some field trips are just going downtown to the museums here in the public library, and getting the kids interested in that.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good, because we have some nice facilities right here in town.
Absolutely, yes.
Kids may or may not even know that they exist.
Right.
So that's good. Well, what else did you have on your list that you want to make sure we cover today?
Well, that was for the most part, that's about it. We've got a couple new principals this year.
Oh, that's right. You were going to mention that. Some new folks.
We've got at Roselawn Elementary, we have Leslie Catano.
Okay.
And she was actually a student at Roselawn and was a teacher at Roselawn, and now she's the principal at Roselawn.
I bet she's pretty excited about this.
She's very excited. Yeah, she really is, and she's doing a fantastic job over there and really loving it. And then we've got Casey Whitmire, and she's the new principal at Hermosa Elementary.
Okay.
And she's doing a fantastic job, and she really likes being at Hermosa, and she was a great fit for that place. The staff and students and parents really are enjoying her, so that was great. And we've got a new assistant principal at Yeso Elementary, and that's Marcia Molina.
Okay.
And she's part-time Title I teacher and then part-time assistant principal, and she's doing a fantastic job and just jumped right in with both feet. And it's everything seems to be going great for our elementaries. It's really good.
Okay, so these are some of the new principals, and I take it you had some retirements and stuff like that.
There was a few retirements. There was Mr. Worley retired this year, and that's how I'm in this position now. I was at Hermosa Elementary, and so that opened up the Hermosa position, and that's where Mrs. Whitmire moved over there, and that opened up the Yeso position, and so that's where Marcia Molina came in. So it just kind of a domino effect of people wanting to be in administration, which it's great. It's a tough time at times to be in charge of a school and lead several hundred kids and teachers, but it's very rewarding at the same time. You get to just see all the wonderful things happening. And sometimes as a teacher, you're just in your classroom every day, and you know you're doing a good job, but you don't know what everybody else is doing. And so as an administrator, you get to see all that. And that's what I really like about my position, is I get to go to all 6 of our elementary schools and just see the kids in action and the teachers in action. And it's been so much fun. It's been a very nice change. I really have enjoyed that.
I'm going to see if I can get this right. You have 6 elementary schools.
Yes.
So there's Roselawn. Okay. There's Central. So I'm trying to test myself here.
Okay.
So, Hermosa.
Yes.
Yeso.
Mm-hmm.
Yucca.
Uh-huh.
Which one am I missing?
Grand Heights. The kindergarten
Heights.
school.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I don't picture that as but that's an elementary.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they've got 300 little kindergarten kids there just running all over the place.
Yeah. Well, that's great, and I know you get a lot of support. The schools get a lot of support from the community because you have great facilities and everything that the teachers need and the administrators need to educate the kids is usually.
We do. It is I've got a lot of friends outside the district that in other places, other towns, Albuquerque, Grants, Portales, Chama, Las Cruces, and it is so. I mean, they are so jealous of Artesia because just the support we have from the community and our community is great about passing bonds and our mill levies, and we.
It really helps.
We use that to have the best facilities around, and so it's from the technology to the buildings, everything is just top of the line.
Cody Skinner, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate it.
We'll see you back here in a few weeks, I think.
Yes, I'll be back in about a month.
So, all right. Well, very good. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right.